So, just got back from seeing probably one of the most realist and funny ish slash introspective type of movies I have seen probably all year. Just got back from seeing American Fiction. Now, this I had a super duper advanced screening of this movie. This movie doesn't come out to like December 17th or so, I believe. So I was luckily blessed enough with the studio sent me a link and I got it. So I just went ahead and saw this movie, and I have to say, wow, this movie really is a breath of fresh air. The only thing that I hate about this is movies like this, they won't get their praise that they really deserve. It's This movie's gonna go really under the radar when it comes out, but this is like one of the movies that should be like on the forefront of like Oscar winning season and things of that nature, but it won't. It won't get the kudos that it truly deserves. Premise of this movie is not fairly simple. This movie kind of takes place and it takes a couple different avenues. The movie stars Jeffrey Wright as Monk, as a lot of people call him. Now he is a pretty much, I'm not gonna say a famed writer, but he's a writer. He's one on the academia part. Like, he's very articulate. He likes to kind of get that introspective of, he's very like an articulate individual. He likes to talk about very, things of like scholar-ish, but a lot of people aren't biting on his books. And Issa Rae character in this movie, by the name of Centuria Golden, is the one who Issa Rae plays. She writes basically a book, and I'll show you a clip of that 1 second. Excerpt. Yo, Sharonda, girl, you be pregnant again? If I is, Ray Ray's gonna be a real father this time around. So she writes this book, and it's very demeaning and disrespectful towards black people. And he is a scholar-ish person, Monk is, and he really wants, people of all to kind of embrace of his intelligence. But people aren't basically chewing out. People aren't buying what he's selling. He's been a renowned book writer, a couple books, but none of them have really gone big until he writes an American fiction by the name, insert, I'm going to tell you the name of the book they wrote, but it's a super satirical, and it's along the same lines as Issa Rae's book. And he did it as a joke, and it blows up. Like, people want pieces of it. He gets offered deals for this movie, for this book, to make it to a movie, and he's like, you gotta be kidding me. And so he creates a fake character to kind of go along with it. And each time you think that he's like, the people are gonna call him on his BS, they just keep loving more of it. And so, until the end, until we're kind of finally bust in his face, if you will. But this movie was very interesting because I myself am not an avid book reader. This movie is based off a book, but myself, I'm not an avid book reader. But the things that I really liked about this movie, it touched on so many different things. It taught the things that I really enjoyed, that it really focused on, was kind of also more, like every movie is going to be about racism, but was more towards racism towards in the book community, far as how African American authors are perceived and how they really don't get a lot to shine on, and the things they do are popular in this regards, or like hood, like people in the ghetto, people making ebonics, talking like this. And that was Monk's side of it thing, like, where we're more than just ignorant people in the hood. We're scholars, we're of academia, we write books, we teach you how to do things. And that's the way he was coming from, and that's what he really focused on. And then he made this book about BS, thinking that, okay, I'll just go ahead and do this with you, since what you guys want, not thinking people would really love it, and they did. But he was trying to be on the fact that, hey, we're better than this. We're more than just people in the hood drinking 40s and robbing people and knocking up people. And this movie really focused on that, and he almost thought like he was, taking crazy pills because everyone was loving what he was selling, and he kind of hated the idea that people love this. Like, he was going above and beyond to kind of diminish his opportunity, but at the same time, he was kind of a hypocrite because he needed money. I'm not gonna say what exactly he needed money for in this book. In this movie, you'll see why once you go see the movie. But he was kind of a hypocrite because he needed money in this movie, and they were offering him a lot of money, and he almost would try to self-sabotage himself in this opportunity he had. It was a golden opportunity. Even as satirical and as much as he hated what he wrote, it was making him money and a lot of money. Money as far as book deals, money as far as movie deals. And so he almost became a hypocrite into himself by kind of going along with it. But every time he would go along with it more and more, he was like, oh, okay, someone's gonna call him a BS. They're gonna see that I'm not this person that I'm really saying I am, and they just ate it up more and more. So a very interesting and introspective movie. Like I said, it deals with so much, and not even talking about a lot of personal aspect of his family member. He had a brother played by Sterling Brown, and his sister Tracy Ellis Ross. You got to see a lot of their family dynamics and how dysfunctional a lot of people's family are. That's the thing I loved about this movie. It made a full circle. It didn't just talk about his issues, but his family's issues and how, like I said, overall general how white people view black people in the state of book writing, and it was just so satirical. And it's like, in their minds, when a black person writes a book, they goes, oh, it's their time, it's their voice, we have to listen. But everything that these white people were basically applauding was the most ghettoest and ratchet stuff. And it almost became so hypocritical, and in a comedic but sad way. Is like people weren't feeling what he was coming from, but they were still they were still feeding into this mindset of, oh, because they're the black voice, this is real, this is raw, this is uncut, this is what the black voice is. And not thinking that not all black people are from the ghetto, not all black people are hood, not all people speaking Ebonics. And that's kind of what he was, that's the aspect that he was going on, that he really wanted to bring forward. But it was what it was. But I'm really happy for Jeffrey Wright. Like, everyone knows this guy. That's like, he's like one of those actors that, like, you know him when you see him, but you're like, oh, I forgot his name because he's been in such many things. But I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really, this part right here, a cinematic stick of dynamite. Like, this movie was so fresh and so refreshing because we always get a lot of the same movies recycled, and it was good to have a uptake of just something new that really shook the foundation of the movie world. But like I said, I really want this movie to get the press and praise that it deserves, even though, like I said, I don't think it will, even though it should. But the movie comes out, like I said, I think December 17th, I believe. Is a while away, but once you guys do see it, let me know what you guys think about this movie. All right, drop those comments.